those who don't know, this is game number 1. This is actually going to be a surprisingly good matchup. Or unless, the matchup itself isn't surprising. I was surprised that we were able to get it. Excuse me. Marine Lord is going to be going AFK for about 10 to 15 minutes anyway, so even if Euthermal and Guru had finished up, we would have been waiting, and I didn't want to wait. So Euthermal did advance over Guru. Shoutouts to him. But we also didn't want to be sitting around for 15 minutes, so we'll probably follow this part of the bracket now instead. Game number 1 between these two players. In the top left side of Prion Terraces, we have the red Protoss, Team Liquid's MaNa.
In the bottom right, as the orange Terran, is Beastyqt.
Would you do me a favor and go make a tweet about this while I give Ting a bit of a shout out, since we had to skip through those commercials so quickly? For those who don't know, I'm going to give you the TLDR. All right, if you're in the United States, you're the ones who are going to benefit from this. Ting is a U.S. mobile phone service in the United States. 80% of devices made in the last couple of years are actually totally compatible with Ting, and they really want to help you save some money on your phone bill. Last but not least, and one of the things we didn't get to cover before either, really starts talking to the way they do their rates. So they don't have pre-made plans. For example, my phone bill with TELUS right now is like bare minimum $70 a month to get data. I actually pay a little bit more because I want more data, but the problem is, like, I don't have a choice. There's no flexibility. Ting doesn't do plans like that lock you in. They have rates, so you only pay for what you use. For some people, that will save you money. For some people, that won't. Ting only wants to work with people that will save them money. So they're not going to try and trick you to come to their company to swap over to them if you're better off where you are. They'll tell you straight up. They will tell you, stay where you are. Save the most money. I think that's pretty cool. If you guys really want to learn more, though, and get $25 in credit with Ting, go to bttv.ting.com, and it's the best way to let them know that you came from us because you are watching the awesome tournament that Beastyqt TV is producing. The Ting Open $5,000 tournament.
All right, tweets out.
Awesome, thank you. I'll go retweet that. Now, MaNa actually taking a gold base right away versus Terran?
Yeah.
What?
So, I guess this is like 50-50 now. They started experimenting with gold bases versus Zerg and versus Terran. Then they went kind of more to the, transfer, of course. Then they went back to maybe taking the natural because it's a little bit safer. And now it just seems to be like, if you think you can risk it, go ahead and take it, either versus Zerg or versus Terran. If you really think about what Terran can do in the situation, the options are pretty limited. They're not, unless they're already going for a proxy or some one-base build, they're not really going to be able to slap down anything to counter this. Maybe a bunker, but obviously that didn't happen here. So all that can really happen is the Reaper tries to disrupt their mining, which is doing a decent job of.
Yeah, a little bit annoying. Of course, if we look at the... Oh, we can't do income graphs, can we?
They made it.
Okay. Oh, we'll have to do that for another game. Sad phase. The income graphs are awesome, but you don't need an income graph to know that, like, every time this bomb hits, BC evens up the fact that he's not in a gold base. This SCV chasing under probe. I'm not sure this... You can barely see it, but this looks really lewd. I'm just saying.
Aww,
Dead.
Aww, poor Proby. So close to home. Well, I guess he's so far away from home.
Oh, looks like Jesse's back in chat too, guys. So while we are talking a little bit about Ting on our end, he's the man with all the answers to any questions you have. So in Twitch chat, just feel free to ping Ting Jesse with any questions you have. And in fact, I encourage you guys to ask him weird questions, please. The weirder, the better.
Yeah, obviously.
But you know,
also ask about Protoss strategies.
That and maybe also Ting, but you know, for the most part, weird is good.
Yep. So yeah, as said, Beastyqt can't really do a whole lot versus this specifically, but he is just prepping the build as usual, which looks to be a Widowmine drop. Wary of anything that can come up here, so Warp Prism, Mothership Core, I guess maybe if Blink had been researched into, he does have a Widowmine.
What? Okay, so first off, in the many times we've cast Prion Terraces, I actually did not know that there's rock plates at the bottom of the ramp. Secondly, what is he setting up over here? Like he takes them out right quick, obviously, but the pylon goes down. I thought, like, is this some sort of weird SimCity? Like, why SimCity versus Terran?
So that they don't just stim past you and go on the ramp.
I guess, yeah.
The problem with taking the gold base is not like, you know, oh, they're gonna kill you before you can get the gold base. No, obviously, like, MaNa's already like reaped the rewards of the gold base. It's that if you try and just defend the third base, they'll just like either elevator, you know, medevac drop, because that's what Terran does, or they'll stim past the photon overcharge. and it can be very, very annoying. It also split the army in case they actually do try and go up the ramp, in
Yeah.
case his force fields miss. That's
Okay, well,
is that the Widowmine drop? It is, and it does not do very much.
no, I got shut down pretty quickly. I mean, there was already going to be an observer out anyway, so I couldn't imagine it was going to do too much. The observer, I was actually really curious about what it saw. I mean, looking at the front of the base, like this barracks is a bit awkwardly placed, but he's going to see Stim coming out, so he knows that it's nothing too insane. MaNa also, I want to point out, we saw TVP out of him before, and we had this crazy, really cool, like, first off, he went Colossus. That's something we'll touch on in a moment. But he did set up pylons all over the map to kind of scout somewhat like Marines. Oh, that's what he ended up doing with that Widowmine that barely lived. But he set up pylons all over the map so he could check for drops. He had like that great wall of pylons.
Yeah. Yeah, we really didn't get to touch base on it because that was during the whole donation thing, but it was quite cool. I mean, people have been experimenting with like supply depots, do the same thing. Of course, pylons, I guess, also work.
Actually, that reminds me as well. I totally forgot. MaNa had lost Dusk Towers to Cast and then picked it again to play it twice in a row to win. Yeah.
Yep. So the cannon back here will reach that. Yep. So pushes that away. So it's gonna be helpful for maybe future drops. That poor probe. Bye bye.
Another one. Yep.
The army at the front though tried to catch BC or MaNa off guard. I guess they both tried to catch each other off guard. Didn't work out. Once again, MaNa going forward here. He did not see the medevacs get picked up. That is a decent amount, and this pylon's not going to be able to be overcharged. The army does go home. I guess that was a bunch of shades.
Tried to. Gets the overcharge up here. Pushes back the Liberator simultaneously. So overcharge is being popped all over the place. I love MaNa's actually kind of seemingly random pylon placement next to catching a lot of these units quite well.
Yeah. I guess they'd be like the retreat pylons in case that he just went over them when he dropped. You always have to go back through them. Takes a third base at the other girl. Now this is where I'm like, okay, Terran can definitely punish you for this.
Yeah,
like he's always trying to punish you from the high ground, low ground. Now they can punish you even more so going left from right with the drops.
Although, you know, one of the things maybe, and this sounds silly, is with all this extra gold mineral income, he might be able to just put down a bunch of cannons. Which sounds stupid and newbie, but we've seen people starting to do recently. Who was it Strange? Strange had a prolonged, insanely long game versus MaNa doing no, not MaNa, sorry. I don't remember who.
Zerg.
Cyril, thank you.
There you go.
Where he put down a bunch of cannons. Anyways, we'll talk more about that point later. Now, part of the engagement comes down. Forcel's going to hold a lot of these Marines in place, or try to. Liberator is in an okay spot, getting some decent shots here and there, but there's a counterattack while this goes on. Adepts do reach the main. They've got Resonating Glaives, but those Widowmines are going to get those sweet, sweet hits.
Yeah. The other Liberator is very lazy and is not helping. There you go. There's a good girl. But here's a full drop, and a Liberator to cover it is a very interesting idea. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it kind of secures the landing zone, I suppose. But it's not so much charge lots that you're worried about here. It's the stalkers catching on the retreat. So no blink out of MaNa just yet. It's on the way.
The upgrades from MaNa, of course, have been going for a while. They got a 2-2 or 2 rather versus 1-1, which this is fine for both parties. The gold base haven't been up, and I think Beastyqt knows about it. Oh, I thought he saw a Marine over there. No, he doesn't know about the gold base.
So, ignorance coming into play here. I'm not sure when or where it happened, because I didn't see the workers killed count, but MaNa killed 22 workers at a Beastie. I guess that Adept transfer, as everything was getting cleaned up, managed to sneak off to the natural, because that's what looks like is missing the most SCVs.
I guess so. So we just assumed it was going to be cleaned up, so whoops-a-daisy.
Yeah, I mean, that's great for MaNa. Puts him in a pretty good spot. Like, not that BC's hurting too bad. Mules are cool, but this is what's going to allow him to possibly keep that army supply up. So many times we see Terran, once again, their production is insane with mineral-based income, with gold bases helping. You just see so many barracks come down, and 16 Marines at a time seems hard to contend with. But MaNa's supply.
Finally, the Marine goes in here to see the third base. A fourth base is already on the way, though. No more cannons than you would usually see, and actually that Marine's going to try and kill a couple of probes, but MaNa's army, not bad at all. Beastyqt is not either, though, but it is going to be abused for being slow, maybe? Oh, Jesus.
Oh, I don't know about taking this fight.
Oh,
MaNa, that's a blink the hell away from that is what that is. Does pop force fields instead of guardian shields. Still a lot of area here. Warp Prisms tries to sneak in while this goes on, so this big army is actually just nothing more than a distraction as he gets to the main, and this is where we get some more Adepts warped in. We're going to see some more workers possibly go down. Because if Beasty pulls this army back to defend, MaNa is going to go ham.
The Adepts were unloaded in the natural, and they already got a couple of kills, so up to 37 kills.
Wow.
Yeah, looks like it's about to end, but of course he's still getting a couple of Marines too. That is a lot. Now, Beastyqt's army is still very scary, and MaNa technically does not have an answer other than trying to catch it out of position. He's trying to get Storm. I mean, even Storm, I mean, it'll help, but I don't know. If Beastyqt would ever get into a good position, like on a choke or a ramp, and not lose his Widowmine randomly, what the hell, then his army would still do fine.
He actually needed those really, really badly for the Adepts sort of transfer onto the army. Oh god, losing 6 Widowmines like that, or 5 or whatever, very important. Storm's coming down the middle of the map, still not done yet, but the positioning here for MaNa looks too good. Gonna pick up more SCVs. Beasty's distracted, he's not looking at his mineral line, so these 2 Adepts are just going ham. There's a third one, it's not even involved in the fight.
Oh my god, 45 SCVs killed. Now he's down to 32. I mean, the first one with 20 kills, like, he was making that pretty quickly, but this is like a whole other command center. This is the planetary in the middle of the map. This is more production. I mean, his army is okay, but he's got to hope for a really good army fight, which starts off great.
With the Liberators all getting sniped off. Now, the Stim Bio is going to start pushing this back, but Storm's coming to the equation any second. Beasty's got to be careful with the splits. But I just want to throw from MaNa, like, I love this sort of situation with the Adepts because this isn't balance. This is +2 upgrades and resonating glaives. So this has nothing to do with like the Adept being a broken unit or not. This is just MaNa doing a great job catching Beasty off guard several different times. Widowmine's going to get a good hit, kills a couple of units, but the Storms, those feedbacks, he's looking for some damage, and he's got the capability to take a fight.
Yeah. The upgrades are, in fact, perfectly even right now, although +2 armor's on the way for Beastyqt. A Liberator killing some probes, really nice, but the main engagement goes down. Where are those Storms?
He's looking for him. The splits are actually pretty good out of Beasty. Nah, that last one's a lot better. The Immortal's actually getting a lot of damage done and soaking hits with their barrier. SCV's getting pulled. That's when you notice it's getting a little bit scary, but he's going to clean this up. Meanwhile, MaNa, he's not only lost a lot of workers at his base, his gold is mined out. So his income starts bottoming out because he's only got like a natural, normal base to fall back to.
Yeah, but thank God he does. He can transfer the probes to the other gold now the Liberator's been cleaned up, and that gold's still pretty healthy, but getting that early 4th base, getting the 3rd on the gold, and Beastyqt like not recognizing that during his drop phase was a really big deal.
I don't know if he can actually stop an attack. It's not a big army coming to Beasty. It looks bigger than it is because of the medevacs, and a lot of these medevacs are really low, but dealing with those Liberators, he can't come down that ramp very easily. He's going to have to warp in over here.
This is a very abusive situation. This is the exact situation.
Oh, Storm hit those Marines.
I was talking about.
Oh, well, good Storm, but it's not going to be good enough. They've run out of it. Going to start picking off everything they can. This gold base here can fall. Who cares about the gas at this point for MaNa? It's not about the gas so much as it is minerals. Losing this gold base is what's really going to hurt. Scanning forward, see what's at the top of the ramp, waiting for him. There's an Archon. There's Immortals. There's Storms.
He is. He might. Yeah, I think he's going to take this. I don't know how MaNa's going to get out of his base. I don't know how did that Immortal get out there.
I don't know. It's kiting best. This is insane though for a lot of different reasons. He sees the unsiege and thinks this is the opportunity to blink forward, or sorry, excuse me, push forward and blink back. But Beasty, who's lost so many SCVs this game, it's one of those rare situations where you are kind of a little bit like, wow, Terran looking pretty good. Loses how many workers this game? 60 before MaNa. Keep in mind, MaNa's only just recently lost workers. 60 before that? Oh. Hey, Ting Jesse just subbed to the channel. Woo! Newest but best sub hype. I guess he liked the weird questions, perhaps.
Yeah, he was into that, man.
Okay, so this is funny though, right? MaNa actually, with the Liberators leapfrogging forward, that's how BC is going to push up this ramp, because otherwise the Storms would have just been too scary in this choke. Here we go. He's going to look for those Storms. Hit some of the Liberators. Hit some of the Marines. Medevacs are actually all really low. The Storms are kind of dangerous for that too. But Beasty's army supply let him just bully in. And those Liberators have nothing left to shoot up. That's going to be game. Beasty does take map number 1. I mean, I guess I'm calling it a bit soon here, but MaNa doesn't have energy on the template that are freshly warped in. He's got nothing that shoots up. I'm pretty positive this game.
But it was all like, that was just a situation where on 4 bases, even with the gold bases, mining out a little bit, one entirely mined out, if MaNa had another minute after that one engagement, he he would have had a much better chance of defending. I still don't know if he would have won, but
This is one of those things, though.